Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today, in the spirit of Halloween, I'm going to be doing a review for Halloween. This movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, um, PJ Soles, Nancy Case, Charles Cypher, Kylie Richards, Brian Andrews, and Tony Moran. And Robert Fallen. I believe that's it for the major cast members. And Will Staden as Michael Myers at 6 years old, and Nick Castle as another version of Michael Myers, and Tommy Lee Wallace as another version of Michael Myers. Okay, before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. So 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch, who have yet to watch this movie and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that I never gave you a fair warning as usual. I did. Now, very fast before I actually get into the review, I do want to apologize. I'm missing a couple lungs, and parts of my brains, so I may forget a few things every here and there. So that would also explain why I'm coughing so much. So bear with me. I'm dead. So yeah. Now, I also do want to say that there was actually a subscriber who asked me to do a review of Halloween. And his name is Red Rum. REDRUUM. UUUM. Sorry, three U's. So he commented on a video a couple weeks ago saying, "Can you do a review of Halloween?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's got the picture of Michael Myers. His profile pictures of Michael Myers. So I was thinking of doing the review regardless. And since you recommended it, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And shout outs to you first off. And now as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So basically, you have this kid, Michael Myers. There's something wrong with him. Basically, he doesn't really understand good and bad, light and dark, evil and nice, I guess. So when he's like 5 or 6 years old, he goes on and murders his babysitter, I believe, is that babysitter. And they find him with a knife. And he murders his babysitter. About 15 years later, exact. He escapes the mental institution in which he has been put in. He's trying to go back to Haddonfield, Illinois, which is where he was originally from, and he's basically now stalking one of the new babysitters that are there, if that makes sense. Jamie Lee Curtis's character, she is the new local babysitter. Her character is Laurie Strode. Yeah, Laurie Stroud. And he's basically stalking her, and since he doesn't understand the concepts of good and bad, evil and nice, I don't know, evil and good. Since he doesn't have a clear understanding of that, he is now trying to murder Laurie for no reason. And John Carpenter, he says that he didn't want an actual motive for Michael Myers. He says, he just wanted to create a character that was just evil for this. He was just evil. That in a sense, it's evil for the sake of being evil, but he didn't want that to be overtly apparent. And he did a pretty good job. Again, Michael Myers, we don't really know much about him. He doesn't say anything throughout the movie, which is really creepy. And that's what they're aiming for, really horror, creepy. And every time he murders, it's normally like after or during sex. While these teenagers are having sex or after sex, like his first kill with the babysitter when he's 6 years old. It was like right after she had sex. He kills the two kids in the bedroom. Well, actually, he kills one of them. In a kitchen. He stabs him. he stabs him in the kitchen, and he kind of sticks to the wall, which is I find that kind of unbelievable because I don't think the knife would be that long, to even um reach the wall, but whatever. And then he kills the girlfriend in the bedroom. So yeah, and then he chokes the one girl in the car. So yeah, I mean most of most of the people he kills are pretty horny. And he's still trying to kill this babysitter. And it's kind of weird because they do discuss this babysitter's love life, and they basically admit that she's a virgin. So it's kind of funny how the virgin is able to discover or understand the concept of Michael Myers faster, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean overall it's a pretty good movie. I really did enjoy it. The score for sure. It's iconic. You can't talk about this movie. You know, you can't review this movie without mentioning the score. It's one of the most iconic scores in film history, and definitely like when the score is on, when the famous music for this movie is on, you know something creepy is about to happen. And like normally something creepy is about to happen, you tense up, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? You check the surroundings. And what I mean by that is like you have the characters um in the foreground, but then you're checking more of the background to see like, oh, where's Michael Myers? He's gonna appear from there, and yeah, they do have a couple of jump scares. And again, this was made at a time where jump scares were actually used correctly, if that makes sense. And here the jump scares make sense. So yeah, I mean overall, Michael Myers, one of the most iconic villains in film history, one of the most iconic serial killers in film history. The score for this film is iconic. The movie as a whole is iconic, and definitely Halloween. You should check it out for Halloween or during Halloween. Or yeah, during Halloween. And obviously I'm talking about the original one, the 1978 version, not the what is it? Not the Rob Zombie version from like 2005 or 2000, right? Is that correct? Like 2005 or whatever. I'm just gonna search it up very fast right now. It's 2007. So yeah, I mean overall, really for the most part, it has good acting. I do want to say that the acting kind of is at times, but for the most part, it's well acted. I mean, it is low, but it's independent. It's a low budget film. The budget for this film, it had a decent budget, I guess. Um, I mean, yeah, it had a decent budget at $300,000. So it had a decent budget, and you know it did succeed. I mean grossed $47 million in the U.S. alone. So this movie was definitely a hit. However, interestingly enough, this movie was panned, like it was a flop. Basically, it was like a critical flop. Many people hated this movie, which is interesting because now this is considered one of the best horror movies to have ever been made, and it is one of the stepping stones of the slasher genre. You know, you when you think about slasher movies, you think of Michael Myers and Halloween. You think of Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees or Mrs. Voorhees, because in the first movie it's the mother. You think of Scream and Ghostface, even Chucky from Child's Play. You think of them to a certain extent. So so yeah, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. So yeah, overall, overall though, really great movie. Definitely do check it out. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being best, and 6 being decent, I would give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. My one complaint, aside from the acting being from time to time, is the fact that it just kind of ends abruptly. In my opinion, it just kind of ends abruptly. And I know the sequel kind of picks up after, like almost immediately after. But in my opinion, it kind of just ends abruptly. And I think that's a major problem with most horror movies. They kind of just end abruptly. I have the same problem with Dracula, the original 1931 version. I have the same issue with all the Final Destination movies. That they kind of just, they don't end too abruptly, but they still end abruptly. Psycho was okay. Psycho had a pretty decent ending. I just kind of felt rushed a bit, in my opinion. Scream was an okay ending too. Felt a bit rushed, but again, it didn't really end that abruptly. It just kind of Stream ended more in a nonsensical version, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, sorry again for sneezing. I'm missing a lung, and yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the movie. Have you seen it? And if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Comment on that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.